This book contains revisionist history, the little brown book of the Jews. It contains a false Holocaust that they never experienced because the Lord says that they never had the numbers. I may not know where the population census of that time can be found. Excuse me, please. I may not know where the population numbers can be found. I may not know whether articles from the past that actually contain the true population numbers of the Jewish people were before they formed a state. I may not know their points of origin. I may not know where they lived in the world before they claimed that Germany massacred them in ovens. That the German people sometimes say, you know, we never saw these things, we never knew. And they're not gaslighting, they're literally confused because they lived in the areas and they just said that they never saw the massive smokestacks of burnt bodies that rose to the ground. Okay. I may not know where these things are, but I do know one thing. I know that God showed me a man named Vladimir Putin and showed me how his mind works and showed me that the brain in his head was better than all the American politicians' brains, and that he's a man so dedicated to long-term strategy, a man so patient at waiting for his plans to bear fruit that he spends his time playing chess against himself, and that he can play the black side as if he wasn't going to go and play the red side. He can completely forget about whatever moves he wants to make, and he will play for the black as great as he can, and then he will go and play for the red as good as he can. And this is a brain that is able to section itself off and pursue multiple paths of policy at once. And now this man is in the spotlight, as I saw years ago, and there's just no explanation for that except that God knew, and I don't know the man. I've never seen the man. In the same way, I told you that the army of Russia and the army of China will overrun the earth in the last days, and all the American people laughed at me. That'll never happen. We have the best military in the world, and now nobody can breathe because of that Labor Day Chinese display. I didn't know that. I saw a missile so big it looked like a house, but they were rolling it on a flatbed. And the reporter was choking with excitement. He said that that missile was only an urban legend, a myth. He said people only talked about it. We've only heard whispers about it. I didn't know it was real. And there was the missile, I said, as fat as a house, rolling on a little wagon. I looked at the thing and I understood that that's even part of what they have. That's not the whole. But I said this in 2019. So therefore, I am completely unruffled, unbothered by telling you that I saw in a book on the Lord's desk that it is mathematically impossible for the current Jewish state of Israel to have claimed that 6 million of them perished because God said they didn't have the numbers to have been able to spare that many people and still exist as a people. They didn't have it. They would be smaller than the Philistines that God wiped out from existence, if that were the case. I'm completely rested in the certainty of what he said, because I know that somebody who probably has 16 letters after his name is going to pop up one day and do a flow chart that will be on Piers Morgan Live. And that's when people will believe me. I won't care. I will just look and think, oh, prophecy fulfilled, and just clip it. Because whatever God tells me, I know is so. All these things, the movies with the little stripes, it's a lie. All these wars that you don't see them in the forefront of, they're funding it. They're the reason that you only have a single tower downtown in Manhattan instead of 2. This is the kind of stuff that is on that I'm posting on my Instagram story, my TikTok story, and my Facebook story. America told, right, that steel, reinforced steel, was hit by a plane and the building completely burnt down. The building was annihilated. The heat, the steel. And yet at the same time, in the midst of all that fire 9 people's passports, or whatever number they were, 9 people's passports, paper passports that must have come from the Avengers multiverse. The passports didn't burn. They stayed so safe that even the plastic on top of them wasn't crinkled. Then when I tell you that this government will false flag you into dementia, people want to argue. And that is because you have your sacred cows in this country. And yet the sacred cows are the result of the TV that you worship. The TV has told you, just like the algorithm can be trained, the TV has trained you. The TV has trained you to think that you are morally superior. The TV has trained you to think that you are militarily superior. The truth of the matter is that other people have just been amassing their strength and they just didn't want to fight you yet. But now the hour has come not only to fight you, but to beat you. And then all of a sudden, you see some defense person, I don't know what his name is, China must be ready to dialogue. I almost choked on the food I wasn't eating. So you never wanted to dialogue. When you were getting ready to go and rape and pillage the Iraqi people, all you said was, we have the WMD evidence, trust us. And then on top of that, you reinforced the threat by making it an either or vote, right? You're either with us or against us, President Bush said. And then everybody was thinking of all the aid money, and everybody was thinking, well, I don't want to end up like Cuba and Iran. So, I'll just, go ahead, America, right? That was what you have done all of your human existence as the United States of America. But now that the chest hair on the chest of China has chest hair, their chest hair has grown chest hair, with military and technological supremacy, all of a sudden, America's on TV. China needs to be willing. China needs to now be willing. They have to. Can you imagine? You're outclassed. You're about to get beat, and you're still proud. You don't say it's our desire that the Chinese be willing to dialogue. You're saying China must dialogue, or else. Or what? I'm not even the Chinese delegate. I'm just here trying to live my little life in Brooklyn. But I'm just going to go ahead and be devil's advocate. China must dialogue with you militarily, or what? Or what? Or what? It's always good to take the thought to its ending. China must be willing to dialogue militarily to avoid international conflict, or what? Or nothing. The answer is, or nothing.